All right, welcome everybody. It's Kevin Knecht coming to you live this afternoon from my home office in beautiful Sarasota. It is Wednesday, March the 23rd in 2016. It's actually about 10 minutes after the top of the hour when I intended to start. And I apologize, those of you who are catching me live and stuck with me. Apparently I pushed this little mute button on my microphone and didn't realize I did that earlier. And here I was talking and nobody could hear me. So again, it's great to have you on our live broadcast today. The title of our broadcast today, boy, do we have a broadcast for you today. We're going to teach you how to generate a long-term residual income from your laptop so you can actually live your life, so you can actually live. And I'm coming to you very blessed to be in my backyard in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. I've actually worked from home for 18 years full-time without a job. I have not had a job since I worked for WDRE, a modern rock station in Philadelphia, which went off the air in 1996. It became a rap station. So, I mean, really, like, rap, not me. So I figured out a way to work from home, and I haven't gone back to work since. Met my beautiful bride, Melissa, in December of 1997. Funny story, we actually met on America Online in one of those little chat rooms, and I figured out that, holy cow, she was making like $5,000 to $8,000 a month. She was newly single, by the way. Josh was 8, Olivia was 5, I think, 8 and 4, something like that. And I thought, wow, she is somebody I ought to get to know. And sure enough, we got together. We've worked from home ever since, and we've generated anywhere from $5,000 a month to $20,000 to sometimes $40,000 in a month. But we've always been able to work from home for 18 years together now. This is actually year 19, so we're very blessed. And I feel like that today I can really share with you a perspective on how to quickly exit the rat race, if you'd like to, how to live free, and how to develop a residual income. And I want you to write that down. Have a pen and paper. A residual income. I'm talking to my friends on Facebook here as well. They're watching the broadcast live. And I'll share with you guys how this has been successful for us long term. And hopefully you can create that for yourself as well. So I apologize. I originally said I'd be done by the bottom of the hour, but we're going to go an extra 10 minutes because I did have a 30-minute presentation lined up, and I did kind of mess it up in the beginning. So, all right. So now we're live, and I'm going to get to the broadcast here. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So just give me a second here to make sure, I don't have any more comments coming in from Facebook, so we should be okay now. Yes, we can hear you. Okay, great. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn Brown, my friend Lynn Brown. Hey, everybody who's here with Lynn Brown. Appreciate you being on the broadcast today. Lynn is awesome. We have so many great people that we work with, you know. And so let me just do this here. I'm going to share my screen and entire screen. And now you guys should be able to see my entire screen. And there's our backyard. That's a backyard, by the way, in Arizona, where we intend to be in the next 90 days. We're actually house hunting as we talk right now. So let me share this with you guys: how to create a long-term residual income from your laptop so you can live your life. Okay. And like I said, I gave you the little backstory about Melissa and myself already. And I want to share with you who exactly this presentation is for today. Maybe you're the busy, successful professional right now, and you're on the go, you make a great income, but you just don't have any time. Or maybe you're the mom. You don't have time with your kids. You'd love to be able to work at home with your kids, just like this cartoon mom right here. Or maybe even a dad. You know, how many dads do you know who can go with their kids to school and work from home? Not too many. I'm one of them. I know a few. And dads, if you're watching, yes, we can teach you how to replace that corporate income. And maybe the work-at-home family. I mentioned this earlier. You know, the work-at-home family is something that Melissa and I decided early on that we wanted together. Josh was 8 at the time. Olivia was 5. Tanner wasn't even born yet. But I thought back to when I was growing up in the 1980s, and some of you guys in your 40s, 50s, and 60s might appreciate this. I was that first generation of what we call latchkey kids. You know, like mom and dad both work. I was a teenager. I was in high school. My brother was in middle school, and my sister was in elementary school. And, you know, so 5 of us were going in 5 different directions each morning at 8 o'clock, you know, and I thought that was pretty bizarre. It just seemed normal back then, but now it seems pretty bizarre. Because, you know, even years later, I don't really know my family as well as I know my family. You know what I mean? So really think about that. Who exactly is this for? The computer challenge? Boy, I'll tell you what, there are some skill sets you need to develop online to be successful, but you can learn how to outsource what you don't know how to do. And, you know, it's really simple. I mean, you know, I do these hangouts like this, and I have a team where people can look over my shoulder just like right now. And boy, when you can watch somebody on their computer from your computer right there around the world, you can pick up skill sets pretty fast, which is exciting. What about that person who's tried a few things online before? You know, that person who is, you know, been up in the middle of the night and maybe you just signed up for something, you got the package in the mail a couple of days, couple of weeks later, and all of a sudden you're like, what the heck did I sign up for? You can't even find the original email. You know what I mean? Or maybe you've had that sponsor who has been kind of like doing things differently and you don't really be able to connect with that person. And by the way, that's especially if Melissa and myself, Kevin and Melissa, connect, as well as a team that we're working with here. We have a lot of great people that we're working with. Some of you are with Kevin Souza, who did a live presentation last night. Kevin and Kimberly Souza, awesome people to work with. And William Wood down there and over there in Utah. I say down there because he was just in Peru for a couple of weeks. And, and a lot of our other team members who are inviting people to this broadcast today. But right now, I want you to just stop. I've said a lot of who may be on this broadcast, but here's who I'm looking to work with right now. Who can we help? The person who's finally ready to start treating their business like the annual six-figure enterprise that it is. You know what I'm saying? So a little bit about us. I told you already that we've worked at home for 18 years now. We've been top earners while raising 3 kids. Melissa and I always decided that we were just going to follow directions. When a company owner or a team leader gave us directions, we were just going to follow the directions, and we've done that. And we had a little hiccup in 2011. We actually went bankrupt because I made some terrible decisions with controlling the financial, the household finances. Right? We didn't have one of those nest eggs in place, and the company we were with at the time, boy, it went south real fast. And instead of making like $160,000 that year, which we needed to make in order to kind of break even that year, we made about $60,000. So that swing cost us big time. But I'll tell you what, in 2012, we got started again. We've made $750,000 over the last 4 years. Not typical results, but I'll tell you what, it is possible when you actually focus on doing some simple strategies, which we're going to expand on this broadcast right now. And I know some of you are still watching me on Facebook here right now, which is cool, but I want you to be watching the broadcast as well, okay? We had a few distractions, bumps and bruises along the way. If you've ever dealt with a family death, divorce, lost lease, car repo, any of the above on this list right here, all of these things have knocked us for a loop for hours, days, weeks, even months at a time where we just felt terrible. And it almost took us out of business a couple of times. Actually, when we went through a personal bankruptcy in 2011, I thought maybe we might be done. We might be done. But fortunately, we got back in the game. We started having results. Here's how we went from bankrupt to bank, I call it. We went to $57,000 in a 90-day stretch, which really set the pace for us to have some better results. And so if nothing else, here's what you can learn from being on the broadcast today, is that you are surrounded by people who are having the results that you're looking to have. So even if you know nothing about what I've shared so far, it's okay, because we're going to give you a step-by-step guide. We're going to give you a system, and you're going to have live and interactive times to meet with other leaders so you too can have the results. You know what I'm saying? All right, awesome. So now it's time to get out your pen and paper if you haven't done so already. I want to share with you something that I discovered recently that absolutely blew me away when I started to do the math. And this really goes out to my friends and family who are driving to work every day, which drives us nuts. Now, take a look at this picture. This is actually a picture I picked up live on my big screen television in October of 2012. Melissa and I and the kids had moved to Atlanta, Georgia. We decided to try out Atlanta for a year, and I'll tell you that story a different time if we meet live at an event. And, I thought, oh, this is cool, Atlanta. Let's see what the local TV weather is like. I'm a TV weatheraholic, by the way. And I turned on the local Channel 2 News, WSB or whatever it is, and I saw this picture, and I backed it up, and I thought, holy cow, this is like 7:27 in the morning. This was October when, daylight savings time still, and it's dark in the morning. Look at this commute into downtown Atlanta. This is from the suburbs. And I thought, holy cow, who would do this every day? But, a lot of people do this every day, right? And I thought about how much time and how much money does it actually cost to drive to work? And I used Atlanta as an example because I had some friends there in Atlanta, and I just asked them humorously, how much does it cost you to drive to work every day, Bill? Not his real name. And I figured it out. Look at this. Driving to work, this is a typical example, an hour a day, 5 days a week. And let's pretend you're making $40,000 a year, okay? So your time is worth $20 an hour. If you're making $20 an hour, you make about $40,000 a year. So think about that. That's 5 hours a week, 50 weeks a year. That's 250 hours a year you're spending in your car, not making money, going to work. So you're costing yourself $5,000 right there. Think about that. It costs you $5,000 a year just to drive to work if you value your time. By the way, when you become an entrepreneur, you've got to start valuing your time. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and just the gasoline right there. Now, I did this back a while back when gas costs a little bit more, but just think about this. $10,000 a year just to drive to work. Holy cow. Now, there are some other costs as well, maybe a car payment, but wait, there's more, right? There's a car payment involved with that. Or what if you have kids or you put your kids in daycare, so you can go to work? So somewhere between $10,000 and $40,000 a year is what you're probably spending just to go to work. Now, I know some of you have six-figure jobs and maybe, well, Kevin, I make $150,000 a year. I said, well, yeah, but you're putting $40,000 into daycare and everything else I just described. And of course, 30% of that's coming out from Uncle Sam, so what are you really taking home for that $150,000 a year job? Probably closer to $50,000 by the time you pay for everything, right? And there's a whole list of things I could talk to you about. But instead, what if you could go from this, look at that picture, to this? And as you saw early in the broadcast, this is my real backyard, This is what I dreamed about for years. What if I could work from home, have my cup of coffee, have my dog sitting right there, and just work from my desk from wherever I'd like to be, and then work for maybe 4 or 5 hours in the morning, 9 o'clock to maybe about 2 o'clock, and go hit the beach with my wife, Melissa, which we did here in this picture. This was not today, by the way. But, you can replace your income, you can double it, and do so within the next 12 months with this system I'm about to show you. So that's my definition of a free time. So what I want you to think about right now, write down on your piece of paper, what's your definition of free time? For a lot of people, and maybe I'm just skewed, since this is the time of year. I know today, by the way, if you're watching this live from Denver, Colorado, over towards Minneapolis, Minnesota, there's a little blizzard going on in the central part of the United States right now. A lot of people are thinking about spring break and, oh, I'm done with winter. That's all I thought about when I lived in Pennsylvania most of the winter. It was like, when is spring going to come? I want you to think about what your definition of freedom is. Because I tell you what, when you can work from home and work this schedule, maybe from 9 till 2 each day and get everything done by 2, you have lots more time to pursue some other things in life, like exercise. Well, you can actually get yourself in shape. You can actually learn how to have time to make your meals and eat well. And silly things like going grocery shopping and actually studying what to buy at the grocery store, instead of being on the left-hand side where you buy all this nonsense that's putting bad stuff in your body and you're getting fat and out of shape and all that stuff. What if you can actually learn how to eat organic? What if you can actually learn how to prepare meals where you can actually lose weight and actually get rid of the bloating in your stomach and all of that great stuff, right? Or maybe take a staycation for the day. Maybe you decide you're done working from home and you want to just work at a resort nearby you. And a quick aside, by the way, this staycation, this picture is actually from early in 2012. This was right after Melissa and I filed a personal bankruptcy, and we were just not sure what we wanted to do. So this is when we were living in Phoenix, Arizona. We actually went to this resort in Paradise Valley. I don't remember exactly which hotel it is now off the top of my head. But we went here at 9 o'clock in the morning. We actually sat down at the Starbucks there. We got breakfast. And then we just sat outside all day. Look at that view from the mountain there. There's Melissa. There's me. There was a hot tub there. We stuck our toes in the hot tub there and all that. We didn't bring bathing suits. We forgot, I guess. But what was cool was that day we decided, you know what? We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. And within the next 30 days, we're going to be back in the game, and we're never going to look back again. We're never going to look back again. And that was such a powerful day. I'll always remember that day. And we did that from a little staycation. So wherever you are right now, find a nice, luxurious hotel where you are and, go park there for the day. Take your laptop and go get a meal there, something like that, or even Starbucks or something like that, and just start to think about where you really want to go in your life, okay? Once and for all. Maybe you want to have some quality time with your family. Here's over here is our friends of ours, Paulo and Gerda, the Barrosos, who actually live this lifestyle of freedom just like us. They actually they're an interesting family. They're native to Portugal, but they live in the UK, and they actually came here to Sarasota, and they spent 2 months living right down the road from us recently. Because they could, they have a lifestyle of freedom as well. They brought their kids over from when they're, were out of school and all that, and just had a blast. I have so much quality time with my kids. Here's Tanner. We did some tennis lessons with him recently. Here are all 3 of the kids here recently, just having a lot of fun together. And the last, one more thing I want to share with you guys. In this pursuit of freedom, I want you to start valuing your time, because when you're at a job, the boss values your time. The boss determines whether you're making $20,000 a year, $40,000, $140,000, whatever it is, right? But here's what you end up seeing on Facebook. You see your friends who are like counting down to the weekend where they can have their freedom. I would encourage you to start thinking right now, what about my freedom? What's it going to take for me? to prioritize your time. Start valuing your time, which I did in that exercise earlier, and I'll give you some tools on that later in the broadcast and how you can start doing that. I want you to start going from a life of default to a life by design and hanging out with people who are on that pursuit. When you're at the cubicle like this, everybody's there basically to get through the day, right? And I know this picture's a little bit old because look at those computers. They're from like the 2000s, right? But it's still the same concept. Over here's Melissa and I with our team at a recent live event. And when you get around people who are having freedom in their lives, you start to play a much bigger game in your life. You are whom you surround yourself with, right? So I want you to decide right now, is it going to be more of the same, or are you going to give yourself a new decision today? And if you're going to give yourself a new decision, this is the day. Mark it down on your calendar. It's the beginning of spring 2016. I apologize if you're watching this from Australia or New Zealand or down in Bali where it's the beginning of winter, but it's the beginning of spring. It's a new season, right? So now I'm going to switch gears, and I'm going to share with you how simple this can be and how valuable this is going to be, because you may not realize how valuable it is to have a home-based business. Now, I want you to ask yourself a question. How much money would you like to have monthly in order to retire comfortably? A lot of people, I learned this on a recent webinar, and I want to share this with you guys here. How much money would you like to have in order to retire comfortably? $1,000 a month? $2,000? $5,000 a month? Man, you hear those birds back there? They're loud, aren't they? Pretty awesome. So think about that. Question number 2, how much time are you willing to work in order to secure your retirement? So starting today, how many years are you willing to work in order to get your $1,000 to $5,000 per month? 1 year? 2 years? 5 years? Surprisingly, here's what most people say. Most people say, Kevin, if I can make a couple of $1,000s a month and do that within the next 3 to 5 years, man, that would be awesome. And I've got to tell you, that surprised me. I thought, wow, for me personally, I want to play a much bigger game. But for a lot of people, that's pretty good. So think about that when you're out there on the internet. What do most people want? So let me ask you this. What's your plan to achieve this goal right now? What's your plan? Do you have a plan? Probably not, right? And that's where we can come in. No, you don't have a plan. That's okay, right? That's why you're on this broadcast. That's cool. So let me just remind you that a goal without a plan is just a wish. It's just a wish. It's never going to happen. So let me share this with you. $2,000 per month of residual income. That's what the average person says they want. Do you know what that's really worth? It doesn't sound like a lot of money to some people. It sounds like a lot of money to a lot of people. But $2,000 a month coming into your bank account on the 15th of every month, what is that really worth? I want you to think about that. And if you're watching me, you might be able to see the little screen on the left and see what that answer is. That's worth $400,000 in the bank right now. If you have $400,000 in the bank, it's the equivalent of having $2,000 residual. Do you get that? Here's the math for you at the bottom of the screen if you want to think about that. $400,000 a year at 6% APR is $24,000 a year of interest coming to you. Divided by 12, that's $2,000 per month. So the question is it easier right now to put $400,000 in your bank account, or is it easier to generate $2,000 a month residually? Which is easier? By the way, those of you watching me on the off screen here right now, you can see my screen right there. Okay, so isn't this cool? Now, what if you want to take it up a notch? What if you want to earn $5,000 a month? Well, that's like having $1 million in your bank account. So right now, if you have a business, or you know somebody who has a business where they're generating $5,000 month after month after month after month, they have $1 million business. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? When I got this concept, man, I just wanted to rush through a brick wall and just pound my way through, because I will do anything for residual income. Now I want to tell you that we're not most people. We don't think like $2,000 a month within the next 3 to 5 years. Here's what I'm going to share with you. An opportunity where you can start generating that $2,000 per month within the next 3 to 5 months, and $5,000 per month within a year, if you're going to follow the simple steps that we're going to teach you on today's broadcast. All right? So write that down on your piece of paper. So again, we're going to teach you how to build an asset in a year or less, part-time, to where you have the equivalent of $400,000 in the bank, or full-time, $1 million in the bank. Now remember, $400,000 in the bank is equivalent to having $2,000 per month coming in residual income. $500 a week, or $1 million is only $5,000 per month coming in. A little over $1,000 a week, $1,250, right? That's $200 a day. Really not a lot when you start to think about that. Right now, if you're working at your job and making $5,000 per month, you have no leverage. When you stop working, you stop getting paid. When you have $5,000 a month coming in at your home-based business, you've got the equivalent of $1 million asset. Do you understand that? Do you guys get that? So think about that. At a job, of course, you pay your taxes first. So you don't even take home $5,000. You probably take home between $3,000 and $3,500 a month, right? That commute cost I talked to you about earlier, linear income. And of course, I see my brother is now watching this broadcast. I'll use my brother as an example, Chris. I don't know if you've heard me say this before, but my brother has been really, really rear-ended he's a mechanic. He does a great job. He's highly skilled at what he does. He makes good money, but when they don't need him anymore, they let him go. I mean, how crazy is that? So he is totally not under the control of his own. He wants to stop working. He can, but if the boss tells him no, then, tough toodles. With your own business online, you control that. You guys get that? So our personal mission, Melissa and I, our personal mission here is to eradicate this poverty consciousness once and for all. And to help you right now make that transition from employee to entrepreneur once and for all. Once and for all, And really the mission is to teach you once and for all how to retire ** this year with a $5,000 a month residual income over the next 12 months. Think about that. What would that be to have $5,000 of monthly residual income over the next 12 months? How would that be? And man, I'm so excited for you right now. And I'm actually going to turn off the broadcast here for a second, and I'm going to come back on screen because I want to talk to you guys about this. So stop screen sharing. There we go. And think about that. What if you could have $1 million asset over the next 12 months? Now, I don't know about you, but when I first heard this concept, I thought, you know what, Kevin? And I was thinking because I saw a presenter give this presentation. I thought, I don't care what it is, as long as it's legal and I see other people doing it and I can follow the directions of what they're doing on a daily basis, I'm ready to sign up. I'm ready to sign up. I don't need to see any more. And that's why those buttons are at the bottom of the live broadcast right now. You're watching this broadcast live. Those buttons right there. There are 3 ways to actually join our team. And I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't really matter, right? And, we're not, this is not Amway or anything like that. But even if it were, I'd sign up, What the heck, you're not going to get any leverage at the job. And you're looking right now at somebody who's having the results that possibly you're looking to have. And I'm not even at the top of the totem pole by any stretch. I collaborate with people who are making a lot more money than me on a daily basis to help me on my journey to go from 6 figures to 7 figures a year, which is pretty cool, So anyway, that's exciting. When I figured that out, I thought, man, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to show you anyway. So I'm going to start sharing my screen again. But I just wanted to, you guys, in case you're falling asleep on the broadcast, and again, I apologize. I'm doing this right over here, which, by the way, a great technique is to use your Facebook account to have subscribers come to you. They will love watching you from their cubicles on Facebook, right? So let me share my screen again. I'm going to go back to sharing my entire screen, and hopefully you guys can see my screen. And let me just check over here. Yep. All right. So we're back here live. So I'm excited. Now I want you to think about this. I said earlier, you get to decide the life you're going to have, right? If you want to take the day off, you can. I think I showed that before. If you want to spend time in your business at night, you can stay up to 4 in the morning one night and sleep till noon. And just to give you a little background, here's Melissa and I. We live here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. You saw my home office earlier. And I just want to reiterate that you too can plug in from wherever you are right now. You can plug in from any location worldwide. And I put this on here just to remind myself that this is now the meat and the potatoes of the presentation. This is what we came here for, to get the meal, right? So I want to show you exactly what you're going to receive when you join our team. Now, you see those buttons on the bottom right now, and you're like, Kevin, what am I signing up for here for? You're actually signing up to be part of the largest online community of entrepreneurs who have generated well over $200 million collectively and been paid on that. How do we do that? We do that with a blogging platform with a fast start training where people come in and they watch 8 fast start videos. They complete a core checklist. They connect with their sponsor, and they have a team that they're working with. And I just showed the screenshot to you just so it's easy to show you. But I can actually show you the real live screen here in a minute. But I want to show you real quickly. Like, here's a picture of my blog. It actually doesn't look too bad. I'm not a blogger by any stretch of the imagination, but this is actually what you're going to receive. You're going to actually have a platform where you can actually build your brand online. And if you don't know how to do that, we're going to teach you how to do that, of course. Here's one of our friends, Tracy Walker. She actually has a very great blog. And so I put hers on there just to show you that actually it looks a lot better than mine. But you can actually work with professionals to build your platform. And we use other platforms. We have, think of this. I heard this from a guy named Ray recently, where he said, you want to have like your hub of where people come to find you on the internet. Your hub is your blog. Now you've got spokes on the wheel along the way. You're going to have like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and Periscope and Facebook Live and all of these other platforms, your autoresponder series, your email list, right? And all of these places you're going to learn, and also you're going to have websites you can build. So you're also going to receive something called InstaBuilder, which is actually going to teach you how to build your own websites. And I have a picture of one right there. And also what you're going to receive, see, this is the game right here. This is the game is how to go from employee to entrepreneur. You've got to start listening to audios of successful people. You're going to receive a subscription where you're going to have daily audios that you can download onto your phone, so you can, wherever you are, as you're going to work, that awful hour-long commute from Atlanta I showed you earlier, what if you can actually listen to Lawrence Tam talk about how he brought somebody on his team recently who got to his first $10,000 month over the last 90 days? What if you can listen to that broadcast 4 or 5 times over the next 7 days and kind of get it internalized inside of you, so you can actually think, oh, I can do that as well? What if you can listen to Mike Hobbs on his $1 million mission, somebody who was bankrupt like me 4 years ago, who is serving in the military? Gosh, I love people who serve in the military who come home and they're just looking for a way to be prosperous, because our military deserve to have so much better. Mike Hobbs is a great example of that. There are so many great resources that you'll have access to. This is one of the subscriptions that I use the most on a weekly basis, because I'm looking to constantly put good stuff into my brain. You are whom you surround yourself with, but you're also by default going to be subject to lack, poverty consciousness, and everything else that's like on the television. If you're watching news, soap operas, sitcoms, things like that on a regular basis, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble, because you're going to be thinking like the rest of the people out there who are broke and just not having results. So this Inner Circle subscription is something you really want to have access to. And this is going to be the key to going from bankrupt to bank, just like Melissa and I did. So here's what I want to share with you guys as we're getting ready to close out the broadcast here. I'm actually going to be just about on time here. This is incredible. So building your asset over the next 12 months, whether you want to build a part-time and get to $2,000 or more per month, or whether you want to build a full-time and get to $5,000 or maybe even $10,000 or more full-time. Now, at the bottom of the screen here, as you're watching the broadcast, you see there are 3 different ways to get started. You can start, what I recommend is what we did with that elite package, where you have the Inner Circle audio system, where you're going to have the Kalatu premium blogging platform. So you have everything ready to go. And you're also a member of our affiliate team, so you can actually start to refer people to these broadcasts, which we do live 3 times a week right now, 8 p.m. Tuesdays, 12 noon on Wednesdays, and 3 p.m. on Thursdays with 3 different flavors. So you got Kevin Souza, myself, and William Wood, all accomplished, all having massive results for a long time, who are here to help your team members get into the game here. And you'll have access to all of us live. In fact, you'll be able to meet us at our next live event here coming up very shortly, depending on when you're watching this broadcast. So that's about all I have to share with you here today. So now's the time to pick up your credit card that hopefully you've had out of your pocket here now for a while, laying on your table there, and just say, yes, Kevin, I'm ready to start. I'm ready to try on your system here. And let me tell you this, you have 30 days actually to try everything on and see if what we're telling you here is for real. Now, I got to tell you this, I should have put a slide up here for this. I forgot to mention this earlier. I meant to put a slide up for this earlier. Is that actually 2 more things and then we're going to be done. If you bring 3 people to this broadcast here over the next 30 days and they join just like you did, there's actually a program called 3 and it's free. That's actually the URL that we're using on this broadcast. 3 people join your team and you're going to actually receive your products for free going forward. Isn't that cool? So you can actually get your elite package today. Over the next 30 days, have 3 people join your team, and the following month, every month forward, you're going to have your products for free. Isn't that awesome? By the way, I see Anna's now here on the broadcast. I see a lot of people watching me on the broadcast here. There's Hans and Peter. Good to see you, Peter. And appreciate all you guys being here with me live. You know what? It's time for you to decide if you're ready for your future or not. Ready for your future or not. And as we close out the broadcast, I saw this quote earlier and I wanted to share this with you. You know what? I want you to start stepping into your power today and having you realize that you, right now, yes, you are the answer to somebody's prayer right now. 4 years ago when I was bankrupt and couldn't know if I would ever get back in the game and do something fun again and be able to be of service to others, I was so in that place where I couldn't even take care of myself. Well, fortunately, Melissa and I have been able to take care of ourselves and our family, and now we're in a position to really be able to assist others. And it's a great feeling to wake up every single day. I want you to leave with this mindset for today. You are the answer to somebody's prayer. Right now, somebody's waiting for you to step into your power. You are that miracle that they're believing in. When you go out each day, I want you to have the attitude of, I'm a miracle waiting to happen. Now, if you'll just start living today, not thinking about how you can get a miracle, but how you can become a miracle for somebody else, you're going to rise higher and play such a bigger game in life. And that's just going to come across. People are going to feel that when you're in the grocery store. They're going to see that, maybe over the next 90 days, you're going to lose 10, 20, or 30 pounds because you're going to start to eat better. You're going to start to learn how to work from home. And isn't that exciting when you actually start to learn all these things? It's like one thing leads to another. It starts to happen really, really fast. So I want you to have that vision for yourself here today, okay? Have that vision for yourself of stepping into your greatness. Because the truth of the matter is, the world benefits from you playing at a much higher level than you're probably playing right now. I can say this, if I had stayed in my job for years and just gone to work and never been able to be with my family, be with my kids growing up, I would have missed so many opportunities along the way. Now that our kids are older, Josh is 27 now, 26, and Olivia is 22. I just can think of the 1,000 conversations that especially Melissa's had with them to aid them in their journey to personal freedom. They're learning at a much younger age than us how to be free in their 20s, so which is pretty cool. And Tanner now being age 15, man, he is light years ahead of where I was at age 15. So what about you? Maybe you're a mom or dad. Maybe you're a grandparent. Maybe you just realize now, holy cow, these people can actually assist me. And it's not just Melissa and myself or Kevin and Kim or William Wood. It's the entire team that we're working with. So I encourage you guys right now to click the button below right now, pick which package is going to work best for you, and you'll have immediate access to the back office. You'll have immediate access to the screen I showed you earlier here. You can have immediate access to the screen. It's actually going to share with you. You're actually, where did it go? I shouldn't do this on a live broadcast, right? I wanted to show you that screen again, but I kind of lost. Oh, right here. You're going to have access to here. You're going to see this screen. You're going to watch the welcome video, watch the Fast Start training, complete the core checklist, connect with your sponsor. You'll have all this done in the next 24 hours and be on your way to becoming 3 and you're free. And of course, being free to live the life on your terms that you've always wanted to live. And at that point, I'm going to present to everyone. I'm going to stop, come back here live with you guys here. And that's our presentation here for today. So I appreciate you, love you. Thank you for watching here. And if you want to reach out to any of us live, you can do that. Of course, find us on Facebook, Kevin Souza, Kevin Knecht, William Wood. We're all easily accessible. And any of the other leaders that you came across that maybe invited you to this broadcast, I would say click the button below. Whomever invited you here will certainly see that come into their email box. They will connect with you today and help you get started the right way. Kevin Knecht, love you, appreciate you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon on the inside for our next live training. In fact, coming up this Saturday, we'll see you for our live training. Kevin Knecht checking out. Bye for now.